Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to impartially explore a truly fascinating Vedic analysis that literally flips the script on one of the most famous monuments in the entire world. We'll be diving into research that reframes Stonehenge from your standard everyday solar observatory into a highly complex, ancient lunar karmic portal. 700. Now, we all know Stonehenge is made of these massive, incredibly heavy stones, right? But here's the crazy part. The 6-ton altar stone at the very center didn't just come from some local quarry down the road. It actually traveled a massive 700 kilometers from northeastern Scotland to get to its final resting place. Just think about the immense, almost incomprehensible physical effort that took.
So you might be wondering, why does that exact distance matter so much? Well, according to Jyotisha, or Vedic astrology, geography and physical effort translate directly into energy. When a site draws monumental resources from incredibly far away, it instantly signifies that it acts as a powerful Rahu Ketu portal. It becomes a node of karmic absorption. Basically, it tells us that this wasn't just some basic building project, it was the deliberate creation of an energetic magnet.
Here's our agenda for this explainer. First, the physical anomaly. Then, the astrological coordinates. Third, a lunar architecture. Fourth, the elemental energies. Fifth, planetary rulers and ancestors. And finally, the ultimate karmic yantra. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. The Physical Anomaly, a pan-British power site.
Okay, so built in phases between 3000 and 1500 BC, the builders didn't just use one type of distant stone. They actually sourced blue stones from Wales, about 240 kilometers away, alongside that Scottish altar stone from 700 kilometers away. Moving these massive stones across hundreds of kilometers boldly illustrates that this was the deliberate creation of an energetic node drawing from the entire region. It was designed to be a pan-British place of power, unifying the land itself.
Section 2. The Astrological Coordinates, the Latitudinal Seed. To understand the site's deeper purpose, we really have to define a term called its kshetra lagna. In Jyotisha, this roughly translates to the ascendant of the place. What it means is that a location's exact latitude acts as its energetic seed. So Stonehenge's specific placement at 51.1789 degrees north, it isn't just a random spot in a field. That exact latitude literally determines its fundamental cosmic vibration.
At this highly specific latitude, the site falls directly under the influence of an energy known as Mrigashira. This is a lunar energy governed by Soma, the lunar nectar of immortality. It symbolizes deep research, pilgrimage, and is traditionally represented by a deer, guiding seekers toward a mystery. This indicates that, from its very inception, this latitude was destined to be a destination for mystical research and profound pilgrimage.
But it doesn't stop there. This location is also combined with the transformative energy of Ardra. Ardra is governed by Rudra, a fierce Vedic storm deity, representing immense atmospheric transformation and wild weather. Its symbol is a teardrop, representing deep emotional catharsis, death, and rebirth. Combined together, this framework suggests the location was perfectly seated for intense rituals of clearing, transformation, and ultimate rebirth.
Section 3. A Lunar Architecture, Beyond the Solstice.
Now, this lunar focus directly challenges the most deeply ingrained assumptions about the site. While traditional archaeology focuses heavily on the solar solstice alignments, basically treating it as a giant, static sundial, the Vedic perspective sees things totally differently. The Jyotisha view sees the circular layout is fundamentally lunar. It's an architecture focused on continuous rhythms, subtle cycles, and heavily emphasizes the moon, or Chandra, as the primary driving force.
The analysis interprets these vertical, circular stones strictly through this lunar lens. The circle itself represents Rahu, acting as an open portal. The cyclical nature of the rings represents Chandra, the moon's rhythm. And the deep connection to the remote past represents Ketu, the ancestors. Therefore, it wasn't just a solar calendar, it was an active observatory for rites of passage, for processing cycles of death and reincarnation, for healing, and for deep communication with ancestors.
Moving right along to Section 4, the elemental energies, the tattvas.
To really grasp this next part, we need to understand the concept of a tattva. A tattva is basically the dominant material energy or elemental force present within an object or a location. When a massive physical material travels hundreds of kilometers, it absorbs the journey. That 700-kilometer trek literally imbues the stones with specific, highly charged tattvas.
Because of that immense journey, the site is dominated by two specific elemental forces. The first is Vayu, or air energy, which represents continuous movement, transport, and communication between different worlds. The second is Akasha, or ether energy, representing a portal, deep ancestral memory, and places where the veil between the physical and spiritual is remarkably thin. Because of this potent combination of air and ether energy, the monument transforms into a perfect vibrating node for shamanic rites, trance states, and ritual astronomical observation.
Section 5. Planetary Rulers and Ancestors, the Cosmic Map. As you can see, there is a very precise planetary hierarchy at play here. The moon, or Luna, is the absolute dominant force, driving the overall cycles of healing, fertility, and trance. Mercury takes on a secondary structural role, handling the precise geometry, mathematical calculation, and alignment of the stones. Then we have the vital Rahu-Ketu axis. Rahu manages the portal, the mystery, the non-linear energy, and the atmospheric weather. Meanwhile, Ketu grounds the site in the ancestors, managing the cult of the dead and preserving the karmic memory of the location.
Section 6. The ultimate karmic yantra, a 3D machine.
First off, we've got to understand what a yantra is. A yantra is essentially a three-dimensional karmic machine. It's a highly specific, deliberately designed tool meant to synchronize the sky above, the earth below, the ancestors of the past, and the living community of the present. Rather than just being a mysterious passive temple, the Vedic reading posits that Stonehenge is a fully functioning yantra. It's an active mechanism of karmic condensation, beautifully harmonizing astronomy, geology, and human life.
To synthesize this whole Vedic reading, the ascendant is the mysterious and transformative Mrigashira and Ardra. The dominant planet is the moon. The core energy is the air and ether of Vayu Akasha. Its true archetype is an ancestor mandala, and its core function is as a ritual portal and a place of healing. This absolutely paints Stonehenge not as a basic calendar, but as a vibrant node of collective memory and a lunar karmic portal built to harmonize the massive forces of life and death.
So we're left with a truly powerful question to ponder. Is Stonehenge simply a solar calendar, or is it an ancient, intricate machine for the soul? Based on this fascinating astrological breakdown, we have to ask ourselves how a shift in cultural perspective completely changes the way we understand our ancient past. It really serves as a reminder of how examining history through localized natural lenses, like the incredible depth of Vedic Jyotisha, can entirely reframe our understanding of the world and the brilliant minds of our ancestors.